All right, good morning. Today we talk about testing vocabulary. Oops, sorry. I pressed the wrong button. Yeah. Before we start, let's answer this question. Why should we test vocabulary, and what is the purpose of vocabulary tests? Yeah, so why? You can write in the chat box if you wish. Oops. So what's the purpose of testing vocabulary? All right. The purpose of vocabulary tests is to measure comprehension or recognition, if they understand, yeah, and production of, so if they can use those words in their speech, yeah, or in their writing, yeah. Okay, good. They want to learn the vocabulary size, yeah, okay. And there are two types of vocabulary, active and passive. So, and what's the difference between active and passive vocabulary? We use every day. That's it. Sungat. Correct. Active vocabulary is the one that we can use in our speech. Passive is the one that we understand, but not necessarily are able to produce. Yeah, Sungat nailed it. Yeah, absolutely right. And we usually use multiple choice technique with passive vocabulary because students don't have to produce, they just have to recognize and select the appropriate answer. So multiple choice test is one of the best ways to check passive vocabulary, right? So here's the difference. Active vocabulary is the one that learner is able to use in speaking and writing. Passive, the one that he can recognize. And he doesn't have to necessarily produce them actually. All right. So here we have oral and written vocabulary, yeah, active and passive. It's like passive listening and passive reading, yeah, as well. Which type of vocabulary should we test? What do you think? Active or passive? Which should we test more? Or what should we test? Actually, yeah, both. Yeah, we should test both. Not only active or not only passive. It's a tricky question, yeah? So we should test both. But in most tests, yeah, usually passive vocabulary is tested, yeah? But actually we should test both. Because tests shouldn't only test, tests should also teach. And if we want our students to learn active vocabulary, we should have quizzes, yeah? Because in many cases, tests, assessments, they are the driving force of learning. If you don't test, if you don't give assignments, students just simply don't learn. Maybe they learn, but they don't put a lot of effort in that. Yeah? And again, we should look at the learning outcomes of our course. If, for example, we are preparing our students for IELTS, then we actually should, but again, we should focus on both, right? Because we need passive vocabulary for reading part, where students have to read. One text in IELTS, as you know, is academic, very academic, yeah? So they must be able to recognize those words, understand them. But in the writing part, again, they need active vocabulary. They need active vocabulary to write, and they need active vocabulary to speak. Sources of words to test, yeah? So which words should we select for teaching? Should we just simply select any words that we can think of, or there should be kind of specific source? What do you think? Which sources should we use while choosing words for vocabulary tests? Any sources? It might be, of course, our course book. Yeah, Albina, correct. It might be course books. It might be workbook as well. It might be students' mistakes in their speech or students' mistakes in their writing. For example, I've been taking notes for several weeks, mistakes of our students in their speech, in pronunciation, and I'll give you one assignment to actually pronounce those words and upload it to Google Classroom. You'll have to pronounce them. And of course, there might be ready-made vocabulary tests or vocabulary, what's it called? Reference books. Yeah. So of course, again, we should consult our syllabus, our learning outcomes. Yeah. So if it is, for example, if you're preparing our students for IELTS, then maybe we should find academic lists. If it's academic, IELTS academic, yeah. Some special word lists which we can learn, which are of great help and use. Yeah. And as we mentioned, yeah. And classroom language, yeah. Beginner, elementary, especially those phrases. You should teach classroom language first. I don't understand. Can you speak more slowly, please? Your pen. Does anyone have a spare pencil? I don't know. Do you have a sharpener? Say rubashka in English. What is rubashka in English? Yeah. How do you spell it? Yeah. And so on and so forth. So you should teach this classroom language and you should test it, because if you don't test it again, if you don't test those phrases, students they might not know actually. Yeah. Which words should we choose if the students do not have a common syllabus? Which words should we choose if the students don't have a common syllabus? Okay. If the students go to an English medium, frequent words, actually, yeah, active vocabulary, frequent words, frequent words. And when you design a test, guys, you should always ask yourself a question. So I'm going to test this word, and is it really worth it? Are my students going to use it in their speech? If it is passive vocabulary, again, is it quite passive, quite active passive vocabulary? Yeah. So the one that students actually can meet in their real life. Yeah. This is why we should always ask these questions. Practicality. Practicality should be, as we said, tests should be practical. They should be meaningful. They should be useful. Yeah. Have beneficial backlash effects. And if you want your tests to have beneficial backlash effect, always think about its usefulness. How useful is this word that you're going to teach and test? Yeah. If the students go to an English medium university, then the items for the test can be chosen from academic vocabulary. So again, purpose, learning outcomes. Yeah. Okay, do's and don'ts. What should we do and what shouldn't we do? Don'ts. Don't have your students memorize word lists. So never give just word lists, or never give learn all words starting from A in your mini dictionary. No, it doesn't make any sense. Don't present words in isolation. Never. Again, we should teach words in context. And we should give a few examples, not only one, but 2 or 3 examples when you use this word in the context. And don't use difficult grammatical structures in a vocabulary test, because the difficult grammar actually can hinder students from answering correctly. Actually, students might know the answer, but it might be prevented from giving correct answer by difficult grammatical structure. Yeah, so this is about reliability. Yeah, Dr. Tuzi mentioned it, if you remember. So there was a difficult grammatical structure, and students couldn't answer, or vice versa. It might be a difficult word or phrase that students don't understand, and they can make a mistake in grammar tests. Yeah? So make sure that grammar and vocabulary don't actually hinder each other. Yeah, don't stop students from answering correctly. Do's. Teach students to find the meaning of words through the context of a sentence. Yeah, we have a lot of exercises. We even have lots of exercises like this when we read the text, and the text is divided into parts. Like there are numbers, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Why they put there? So that we can quickly find a line. And then the question is like, what does summarize in line 25 mean? Yeah, students must look at the context, and using the context, they must guess the meaning of the word. So you should you should practice it a lot, actually. Next one, help increase comprehension by teaching important affixes. Yeah, so negative affixes, a noun, adjective, adverb. Yeah, so happy, unhappy, beauty, beautiful, noun, adjective. Yeah, noun, verb, I don't know, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so we should teach our students. Ideally, when we teach a new word, we should teach a family. A family means the same word, but in different parts of speech. Like wide, adjective, widely, adverb, noun, with, and verb, for example, widen. Yeah, widen a road, for example. Ideally, yeah, it's a good thing to teach words in a family, the whole family. So, techniques, let's go to techniques. Yeah, one of the techniques is limited response. We use it with beginner level students because it doesn't require them to speak. You just only have to act. And it's like so we avoid the language skills that they haven't mastered yet. Let's continue with examples. For example, we can use physical responses. Yeah, like please. Yeah, Marcos, please. Yeah, can you come up to the window? Please go to the window, please. Yeah, hand me the chalk or come to the board. Yeah, touch your nose, touch your head. Yeah, you can even play a game. Simon Says. Yeah, is the book green? Yeah, or touch something green, for example. It's a very nice game as well when you teach objects or colors. Yeah, students have run and touch specific color or an object. Yeah, a very funny and nice game, by the way. And you can show a picture and say, is the boy sleeping or swimming? And students answer, sleeping. Good. Yeah. Or you can even say like, the boy is sleeping. And students say yes or no. Yeah. You can also use this as a group testing. Usually we should start with a group because testing with a group is less inhibiting, less frightening. Students are usually not afraid, yeah, when they answer as a whole class, yeah, because they can repeat after their peers, yeah, and learn in the same way, yeah. And then later you can use individual testing. So again, what can we use? We can use pictures. For example, use a command such. Now draw a circle around a tree. So we give a picture, and students have to draw a circle around the tree. Yeah. Put an X on every tool. So there are different tools: hammer, I don't know, screwdriver, an axe, and so on. Draw hands on the clock. When teaching time, you can use it as well. So it's 3:30, and students have to draw hands. Yeah. Match my pictures. My friend is eating. So they put number 1. Yeah. Okay. The dog is running. They put a number 2 near the dog, for example, yeah, which is running, and so on. Advantages of limited response. Well, it calls, so it's oral, not written. Yeah, in many cases, mostly. Yeah, but it can be written as well. But again, we actually don't use it for summative. Usually, for summative assessment, we usually use it for formative assessment. But if you wish, you can use it for summative as well. Why not? But still, it causes less stress because whole group students don't write. Yeah, they don't have lots, and it can be scored easily and objectively. Yeah, so you can see immediately if students understands you or not. Yeah, so you can immediately see it. If you, it will take a lot of time because you have to do it one by one, and they might be like a lot of friendship. You just have pictures, maybe exact pictures. And sketches, the drawings, yeah, sometimes might be ambiguous. Yeah, for example, an orange may look like a ball. Running may look like dancing or jumping. A dog might look, I don't know, like a donkey or whatever. Yeah, sometimes it happens. Yeah, if you draw badly, yeah, you can use pictures and find pictures. As I've mentioned, they allow teachers to test passive vocabulary because students don't have to produce those words, they just have to identify them. And the beauty of multiple choice test is that you can ask a lot of questions. Yeah, and it saves time in a quite limited period of time. You can ask a lot of questions. And as I mentioned again, that these words again should be useful to your students. Yeah, for reading, for listening parts. Yeah, in the future. Another point is that usually only content words are included in vocabulary tests. Yeah, there are function words and content words. What's the difference? Content words, they have meaning, so they are nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Function words, they are like prepositions, articles, like my, his, her. Yeah. Actually, function words, they relate to grammar. They are not vocabulary. Yeah, function words, they more relate to grammar because like prepositions of time. Again, it's more like grammar. Yeah, because we have to use them correctly and prepositions of time. Yeah, it's not vocabulary. Okay, and we've studied how to design multiple choice tasks. And the previous lecture, the words must have a similar meaning. Yeah, when designing multiple choice tests, but contextually they should be inappropriate. Yeah. The structures, they should be of similar level. So if the answer is difficult, upper intermediate word, the structures, the wrong answers should be an upper intermediate word. Yeah, they should be the same part of speech. If the correct answer is adjective, wrong answers, the structures should be adjectives. Yeah, do not use opposites, never. Yeah, for other synonyms, we use at higher levels. And the structure should be of similar length. If the correct answer is long, then wrong answer should be long as well. A lot of students actually forget about it. When they design their own test, they forget about it. For example, let's identify mistakes again. First one. Can you identify mistake in the first one? She had to help the weak old man up the stairs. What seems to be wrong in the first part? The first sentence, I mean. Anybody? Quick comment. Different parts of speech, it's often not. That's it. Well done. Exactly. Yeah. Slowly is not adjective. Yeah. Wisdom again is noun. Yeah. Try is verb. All of them are different. Okay. Second one. She needs to get up earlier, so she is buying an alarm clock. She's buying an alarm clock. Yeah. Let's see. Easy to find the answer. Why is it easy to find, Albina? You're saying that it's easy. It is easy to find an answer, yeah. Synonym. Albina Turula writes with an article N. Exactly. Article. Good. Sometimes we just skip it. We don't notice that we use hints in our stem. So don't leave hints. You should write a/n. Yeah. A lot of teachers forget. They just write a or n, one of them, and they leave a hint like this. All right. Next one. They needed lots of training to operate such sophisticated equipment. What seems to be wrong with this one? Level. Yeah, exactly. Different level. Sophisticated is a difficult word, but why is easy blue? They're very easy, huh? Good. Length. Alina writes length. Well, length might be. Okay. 4. She sent me the gift yesterday. Food, books, letter. Yeah. More than one answer is possible, exactly. All right. Question number 5. They drove to work in their new car. Car, house, office, street. Five. They drove to work in their new house, car, office, or street. What seems to be wrong? Easy to answer. Inappropriate distractors. Yeah, Sungat wrote inappropriate distractors. Yeah. Implausible distractors. Yeah, weak distractors. Weak distractors. So you don't drive in a house, you don't drive in an office, you don't drive in a street, right? You drive a car. Maybe you could use a horse. I don't know. But you don't drive a horse, you ride a horse. Yeah. So it must be something plausible. You see how difficult it is to construct multiple choice tests. Now you're thinking about wrong answers. Well, what can I use? What shall I use? Yeah. Or maybe bicycle. Yeah, you can write bicycle. We drove to work. They drove, but we ride a bicycle, right? Yeah, we ride a bicycle. We don't drive it. Yeah, we ride a bicycle. So maybe bicycle could be used. And then we have to think about 2 more distractors. So quite difficult. Okay, question number 6. She just hit his shin. Shin is a part of a leg. Is a part of a leg. So here it refers to leg. Cousin fender fruit. Again, context there. Context is missing. Maybe he hit his cousin. Who knows? Yeah. But fruit. Do you hit fruit? It doesn't make any sense, right? So again, weak distractor. Limited context. Yeah. And we should use. Well, if you use a leg, maybe you should use body parts. Yeah. Leg. I don't know. Arm. Waist. Yeah. For example. What else? Heads, whatever. Use body parts instead, yeah? And then add context so that it makes clear which body part he hit. Yeah. For example, he hit his, I don't know, face maybe. Well, and now he has a blue eye, for example, or bruise. If it's bruise, it's usually on your body, yeah. But if it's eye, it's black eye. Yeah? All right. Okay, 7. He plans to buy some candy for his mother as a birthday present. Answers can be right according to the missing context. To make some candy. Actually, he can make some candy, right? If he is a cook, if he like. Several answers are possible. Alan is a very quiet student, and quid student. Question number 8. Yeah, it might look okay, but actually it's more like a pronunciation test. Yeah, it's not about vocabulary checking exactly. Yeah, Aruzhan Zhorabekov writes. Yeah, it's not a vocabulary test. Exactly, you're absolutely right, Aruzhan. It's not a vocabulary test. It's a pronunciation test. Quite, quiet, quit, quid. Yeah, so you're checking students' listening skills and ability to differentiate those sounds. This is a vocabulary. This is a pronunciation test. Don't design vocabulary tests like this. Okay. Question number 9. That boy is very unusual. He's a genius. And C is the correct answer. Length again. Yeah. It's the longest answer is the correct answer. You should increase destructors. All right, good, well done. And now these are the guidelines for constructing multiple choice tests that we mentioned before. You should design multiple choice tests or whatever tests, actually, whatever technique that you're using. You shouldn't design construct a test just one day before high-stake exam. Yeah, you should maybe spend a week or several weeks. So first write the stem, write the sentence, write the correct answer, because distractors will depend on that correct answer. Make distractors plausible answers. Plausible means possible in real life, logically possible. Yeah, they must be logically possible. However, there should be inappropriate context. Yeah, logically possible, but inappropriate because of the context. Avoid writing poor alternatives just for the sake of writing. Okay, for example, you must write 4 alternatives and you write 3 good alternatives and 1 is left. Okay, and you write something unrelated. Yeah, just the 4th alternative. Yeah, don't do that. Spend some more time and try to create a good 4th alternative, or maybe you can ask your peers, your colleagues. Yeah, distractors should be familiar to your students. Yeah, don't very difficult test that students actually don't know anything. Yeah. So, and when we design the test, we usually design it on a specific topic. Yeah, we will learn vocabulary. For example, food. Yeah, so cook, boil, poach. What else? Fresh, frozen. Yeah. And so on and so forth. So usually teach in chunks, and we should test in chunks, ideally. Yeah. Write distractors that are distinguished, but they're distinct from each other. Yeah. Avoid unnecessary repetition. Yeah, we mentioned it as well. State the problem or ask a question in a positive form. Yeah, if you use negative, you can use negative actually, but don't use it very often. From time to time, and we use it to write not in capital letters. Not, which is not correct. For example, yeah, which item cannot be used in kitchen, for example, or whatever. Yeah. All right. A task. You will have to design a test, vocabulary test, using these words. Actually, I think you'll design a different test, not this one, because we don't have a lot of students nowadays. A lot of our students don't teach because of the pandemic. Yeah. I think we'll do it differently. Here, I'll upload homework to Google Classroom. Yeah. Mugulsum, please switch off your...
Class.
Okay, thank you, Mugulsum. I'll upload the assignment to Google Classroom. I'll explain in detail. All right? So, you shouldn't do this one. I'd like to show you other techniques that we can use in vocabulary. So multiple choice, yeah, that we know. You can use choice technique like this one. For example, fill in the blanks with appropriate words from the list given, yeah. But there is one mistake in this. There is one mistake in this exercise. What is it? Can you find a mistake? It's not about the sentences, it's about technique. Exactly. On 5 words given, we need to add one more. Exactly, because there are 5 sentences and 5 words. So the last words, actually, students will not have a choice. There'll be one left, yeah, and they'll just fill in the gaps. This way, we need to add one more word. So there should be 6 words and 5 sentences, because when the last one is left, there should be a choice between 2 words. All right, good. Noun, adjective, or for example, adverb or whatever. Well, this is more like a grammar test. This is actually a grammar test, the vocabulary one. But if you'd like to use it, yeah, for grammar parts, it's also okay. When students have to identify what part of speech the word is, depending on its place, yeah, we can actually guess the meaning, the part of speech, depending where the word is used. Another one, choose a verb that goes with all 3 nouns, phrases, or below, yeah. We have it in Cambridge Advanced Exam. Collocations, and they're actually quite difficult, you know. So, first one, a trip, a photo, a bus. Do we spend, do we take, or do we pass? We take it, yeah. Money, a day spent, yeah. Pass an exam, and wish. You can put one extra word again here. 4 verbs, yeah, 4 words, and call it saver is another technique. It's also multiple choice, but we save space. We don't write answers below it. We just each other, and we use italics, and we use slash. Yeah. So this technique is also possible. Of course, yeah. Opposites of the following adjectives using negative. Right from their memory, yeah. Loyal, unloyal or disloyal, yeah. Enthusiastic, yeah. Logical, illogical, patient, impatient, yeah, and so on. All right, another one, more difficult. This time you have to put the word in the correct part of speech. Yeah. For example, in the first one, the depth, yeah, of the swimming pool is 2 meters. Mr. Brown was a kind, what kind of woman? Do you know the answer? Mr. Brown was a kind, motherly woman. Motherly. Motherly is not an adverb, it is adjective. It means mother-like, yeah, mother. She was like a mother. Brotherly, for example, brotherly hug. Yeah. Sisterly love. I don't know. Yeah. Sisterly support. Yeah. Manly. Yeah. He looks so manly, for example. Yeah. Fill in the gaps. Complete each sentence with a single word. Those are here we have like phrasal verbs and the particle. Yeah. mind out, and so on. So you use one of these techniques as your home assignment. Okay, now, why am I showing it? I'm showing different types of techniques that you can use for testing vocabulary, and you'll be using 2 of these techniques. You will select 10 words, you'll design a test in using 2 different techniques, and you'll compare how students perform. How students perform in those tests. You can use definitions like this. Here appears things made of wood. Who is it? A carpenter. Yeah. If you want to leave a job, you resign. Yeah. He carries your bags for you in a hotel. Who is it? A porter. Yeah, and so on. Yeah, odd one out. But you must be very careful with odd one outs, because you must make sure that there is only one way of giving the correct answer. Yeah? So there shouldn't be any alternatives for interpretation. Okay, so first one, soup, pizza, hamburger, and bowl. So which is different? Which is different? A bowl. Why? Yeah, because it's not food. Yeah. All right. Good. Okay. And the next lesson, I think I'll show you, next lecture, I'll show you mistakes that my students made when designing vocabulary tests. They're quite funny, but I'll show them next week at our next lecture. All right, this is it. So this is the end of our lecture. I will upload assignments today, I think, today. And you have to conduct those tests until our seminars this week, actually, guys. Yeah, this week. All right, because I didn't give you assignments for seminars this week, right? So you'll have to prepare them for this week. It's not that difficult, actually. You can use your peers, your group mates, to conduct those tests. I'll explain everything in detail, so it's clear. Well, thank you for joining. This is the end of our lesson. I'll record the video and I will upload it to our Google Classroom as well, so the second group can watch it, and you can watch it if you want to watch it later by yourself as well. Thank you, and I'll stop recording.